It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. And we're zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on a great viewer question, and that is how to communicate with a difficult or toxic person, someone who is narcissistic, or someone who's sort of a bully or emotionally manipulative. Someone who's gotten you kind of under the weather, under their power, under their control, and has sort of kind of got you where they want you. And you're feeling powerless to respond or powerless to communicate. And you really need to be assertive of yourself and assertive of your boundaries. And things have gotten too far. Perhaps they've seen the ugly side of things. Things are getting bad. We have a lot of viewers who are really in some very tough binds and emotional situations, either where they're working or they're living, and it's becoming very uncomfortable, and they need the communication tools. Well, one thing that's so important when you communicate with a narcissist, even if this is a family member, even if this is a sibling, a spouse, someone who's known you since, for eons, someone who's known you, who you've been married to, you can unequivocally change your communication style. And the switch that needs to be flipped is that from subjective to objective, to it's all about the wounded me, to it's all about the factual me. So you need to begin to communicate from a more objective standpoint. When I talk about it being dispassionate, neutral, or indifferent, that's exactly what it is. It is to be objective. It is to remove sort of the hurt, the woundedness, the personalization from the communication. If you're coming from a subjective point of view, you're coming from the poor, pitiful me, you've got the best of me viewpoints. You're coming from the perspective that I am weak, I am less than, I am wounded, and I'm flying off the handle, I'm flying out of the gourd, I'm acting out of a space of weakness or unintelligence. You want to flip the switch and come from a more of a dispassionate, indifferent, neutral tone, body language, and objective communication. Objective meaning purely fact-based. How do you communicate like that? Well, it's to say, and kind of sort of remove the I from the communication, and then to communicate from more of an expectation standpoint. So, for example, to say, rather than, I really can't stand it, it's so distracting when you do this, it's so, it really makes me mad when you ignore me. That is subjective. That's saying, poor, pitiful me, I'm agitated, I'm frustrated. So you need to remove the agitation and the frustration, and you become more objective. My expectation is that as a family that we're going to respond to each other's calls. Are you okay with this? My expectation is that we work as a spouse and wife, and that we respond to each other's texts. Are you okay with this? And so, do you see how the communication style is different? Or my expectation that as siblings, we're fair and respectful. My expectation that as siblings is that we're fair and respectful treatment of each other's. Are you okay with this? Or I think it would be appropriate for us to approach each other as spouse. Or I think it would be appropriate that we work productively in the workplace. Are you okay with this? It's my expectation that we have peace and quiet and we're able to work. Are you guys okay with this? Versus, you guys are too loud, you're really disruptive of me, can you guys knock it off? Instead of saying that, it's my expectation that we have a quiet and peaceful work environment. Are you guys okay with this? Can you take this elsewhere? My expectation is that you would take something like this elsewhere. Are you okay with this? And just sort of get more objective, get more, fact-based. Begin to communicate in that style So it shows that you're sort of enforcing a norm, because that's really what ends up happening when relationships go too far, where the emotional tone has, not been enforced, the boundaries and standards have not been enforced, and then you're kind of resourceless, or you don't have a communication tool to be able to do this. And so you avoid personal feelings when you communicate in this style. You're coming from an enforcement standpoint, an objective standpoint, a dispassionate and neutral standpoint, and you're really, really taking your communication to the next level. Because otherwise, if you're just doing opinions, it is not very helpful. When you're looking at objectively and facts-based, it is helpful. And you're just not, trying to one-up them. You're actually just communicating. And so you're not trying to give a showdown. You're not ignoring. You're not withholding. You're not just, creating an emotional meltdown. You're not avoiding situations. You're not fearful of going to a family get-together. You're not afraid of this person. You're not intimidated. You're actually, claiming, standing, and holding your ground, and doing it on an objective, fact-based basis. And so it's very important that you do this, and you get in the habit of this, and you practice it. You might need to write it down. You might need to sort of let this soak in and see how it can change not only your physiology, how you feel emotionally, but it's how you understand how to get into that very indifferent. In other words, I'm not overly affected. This, is irrelevant to me. So to be indifferent means I don't really care one way or the other. I'm just delivering a very objective message. And so you want to, and then just sort of address the action and then the outcome as well as the solution. So the action, the outcome, and the solution. So to have action means, since you've ignored me, or since I didn't hear from you, I wasn't able to be at the hospital. Can you please communicate with me next time? Or since, since you cheated on with me, we need to file a divorce. So, you're going to have to conduct that behavior somewhere else. So you're externalizing, you're objectifying the communication. You're coming. And this is very, very powerful communication style. The action, the outcome, and the solution. The action. Since you, isolated me at our most future gathering, my family feels like you've sort of alienated them. Can you please be more inclusive at our next gathering? Action, outcome, solution. Since you yelled at me, I really haven't been able or feel comfortable picking up your calls. Can you please speak to me in a pleasant tone? Action, outcome, solution. Go ahead and give this a try. Go ahead and really see how this relates to your own specific situation, and I think you'll get much better results. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. And also, before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently donated to the channel. It is so good to hear from you. Please do, if this channel has been a positive resource, please do share with me your stories, your feelings, your donations. You can go to the PayPal Donate Now button here at the homepage of the Peace and Harmony channel and make any donation that you're comfortable with. It would be great to hear from you. Have a beautiful day. Peace out. Love you.